Hey guys, before you listen to today's episode, there's a few things you can do to actually help our channel grow and expand. The first thing you can do is subscribe. You click the subscribe button and the bell next to it so that you get notifications whenever we release new episodes.
And be sure to like our videos because that helps other people find our videos and helps our channel grow.
And the last thing you can do is comment. You saw something or listened to something on the video you enjoyed, comment. We read the comments and we respond.
And if there's anything you want to hear, add it to the comments and maybe it'll be on our next episode.
With that being said, enjoy today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the 504 Podcast. I'm your host, Mark.
And I'm your host, Erica.
All right, she wanted to say it this time. Last episode, I took it from her. So this episode, she wanted to say it. All right, without further ado, because we got a lot of topics to discuss, let's get into our top three this week. Top three comedians. Who is it that you listen to that makes you laugh?
Nope, and there goes my phone ringing. So I'm going to go first. And my first comedian is Howie Mandel. Have you ever heard of him?
He's the guy who had the cartoon.
Bobby.
Yeah, that's all I know. He had that cartoon.
Yeah, so we would watch him as a family. Like that'd be family night watching Howie Mandel, and he would just crack us up. He was so funny.
He just reminds me of Bob Saget.
Yeah, kind of, I guess, looking alike, but he was really funny. But that was like a long time ago that he did that stand-up comedy, because then he moved on to, all his other stuff. But interestingly enough, he has mysophobia. It's an irrational fear of germs. So he didn't like to be touched or anything, and he didn't like to touch surfaces. So it's funny that he, was a game show host and would possibly have to shake people's hands and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's such a, I don't want to say a weird thing to have, but like I really feel for people who are like germaphobes, because like you're just like walking around, just you don't want anyone to touch you, you don't want anyone to go near you. It's like Monk. You ever see the show Monk?
Sometimes, yeah.
He didn't want to touch anyone, and every time he like shook someone's hand, he would then like have his assistant give him like the hand sanitizer.
Oh, we know someone like that. Redacted.
All right, my first comedian. This is the person who I watched and said, I want to do this one day. Eddie Murphy.
I was gonna pick him.
You can still pick Eddie Murphy. It's not a competition of who says who first.
I like Eddie Murphy.
I had a debate with my family not that long ago about which one was funny, Delirious or what's the one after Delirious?
Was it Raw?
Yeah, Raw or Delirious, and I said Delirious is the funnier one. Like people don't go back and wear like the pink. Sorry, they don't wear the purple Eddie outfit when they want to show him respect. They wear the red one. Delirious is the one.
Yeah, I watched that with my family too, I think.
He had to go back and apologize about all the gay jokes he made.
I'm sure he did, but come on. But you see, that was a time when you could do stuff like that, and people laughed and embraced it, and haha, it was over.
Yeah, it's that's those times have long gone now. They're long gone.
They are. I'm gonna go with Kevin James.
Oh, my guy, Kevin James. I like him. The King of Queens.
I had a chance to see him last summer or spring in the PAC Center in Newark. And it's a really small venue, which I found interesting because, he's such a, he's very popular, and here's Sebastian Macaluso, who, whatever his last name is, he sells out the Garden, and Kevin James could probably sell the Garden, but chooses not to. But I just thought it was, and I saw Sebastian, and comparing Sebastian to Kevin and just the venue alone, like, I felt like, like I was in Kevin's backyard. So it was kind of cool. Like, it was just a more intimate setting, and he's hilarious. The things that he says.
He's really funny. I remember buying every episode of The King of Queens when it was out and you can buy it. And now I go back and listen to it. I'm like, it's a lot of fat jokes.
Yeah, Yeah, he talks about himself.
Yeah. So you can really appreciate a guy who can laugh at himself.
He's funny.
My number 2 is Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, he's another
Dave
good
Chappelle,
one.
yeah. Dave Chappelle is just like this. I don't know how he does it. You can listen to Dave Chappelle and you know that you're going to hear a joke, and you don't know when the joke is coming. He's just talking, and out of nowhere there's a joke, and you go, "Oh shoot, I didn't see that one coming." He's mastered it. I think if there's anyone who's mastered comedy, it would be Dave Chappelle.
I wonder how they just do it. Like they just, I don't know. Like you get up there and you tell a joke and you got to wait and hope that there's a reaction.
Well, he's done so much, and I mean, all the comedians. When I was doing research, as far as how comedians actually, do it, they actually go and do little venues, and they'll do the same jokes over and over and over and over. It's literally like a basketball player taking a shot. It's they do that same shot 1,000 times, and they'll tell that same joke 1,000 times, and then say, "All right, I got it."
Well, isn't that like how Seinfeld started out?
I'm not sure. I don't find Seinfeld funny. I don't know, that's blasphemous.
Well, he's really dry, that's why. But I think he started out like on a little stage, like that comedy stage in New York City, whatever it's called, the Laugh Factory, I don't know, Comedy Factory. Like that.
They all frequent those places.
Yeah. My third is Joe Coy.
Never heard of Joe Coy.
Oh my gosh, you gotta listen.
When I look him up, and I have to put him on a YouTube video, I'll figure out who he is.
So he's I think his mom is either Chinese. Yeah, I think he's half Chinese, half white.
Well, that's where you get Coy from, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then when he does,
well, if he has the last name Coy, I don't think his mom is Chinese. I think his dad is probably Chinese.
No, his mom is, because he talks about her.
Got it.
And he imitates her a lot, and it's freaking hysterical. Like, and we were supposed to see him too, but the pandemic happened. I would go anywhere to go see him. Like, if it meant traveling, I'd go, because the things that he talks about, his life growing up, and I think his dad was a war veteran or something, which makes sense why. He's Korean. Sorry, Korean.
Oh, so you're gonna get in trouble. You confuse Chinese and Korean. That's it.
I think his dad fought in the Korean War, and that's where he met his mom.
Don't get us canceled, Erica.
She talks about the food that they have to eat, and oh my God, I just crack up. He's so funny.
All right, so my third one, and I don't enjoy him so much anymore because I think he's more like a caricature of himself. But my third one is going to be Kevin Hart. Gotta respect his hustle. He only has 2 stand-ups that I found really funny. Seriously Funny is probably by far like his best stand-up, and that can compete with a lot of stand-ups. I remember watching that thing over and over and over and saying, wow, he's the next up.
I'd have to see that one. I've never seen any of his stuff.
We have to hang out one day, and I can show you something, you can show me stuff, and then we can, oh, hey, look, we've learned from each other. But Seriously Funny, if you're going to watch a Kevin Hart stand-up, Seriously Funny is the one you have to watch.
Seriously Funny.
He's another one that got in trouble for making gay jokes. In his stand-up. He was.
And then he had to apologize for it.
And he had to apologize, and that started the whole Oscars thing. I mean.
But did he apologize? I thought he refused.
No, he apologized. He had already apologized, and then when they did the Oscar thing, they wanted him to apologize again. So he's like, I already apologized. And then he turned down the Oscars. Because
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
He didn't want he didn't want to feel as if he's being told what to do. Because we have this thing in the world now where you do something and you have to apologize to everyone. How about I acknowledge your feelings, and then we just all move on. You tell me your feelings, and I acknowledge it, and then I can learn from it. Why is it that you have to emasculate me and make me apologize so you can just stand there like I'm on my knees groveling and just staring down at me, tossing breadcrumbs at my
But why?
feet.
My point is, how I feel is, if it was from so long ago and it wasn't addressed then, it should just die.
It
That's
doesn't. It
it.
doesn't work that way. People. The moment you become famous, people start looking for things so they can say, "Ah, look, this person's racist, or this person's a homophobe, or this person's anti-Semitic, or this whatever it is." They. That's what they say. No good deed goes unpunished. Remember the black guy
Yeah.
who found the white girls in the basement? And he's like, "We eating ribs with this dude, and we didn't even have a clue." Man, they went and found his whole police record. You knew this whole guy's life story. The same thing. There was a homeless guy, and he had like a really nice speaking voice. Did you ever see that one?
No.
It was a homeless guy, and it was a video and went viral when he sounded like he was on the radio, like one of those
Yeah.
speaking voices. It was very rich. And what happened the moment they found him and he was decided they're like, oh, we're gonna give him offers and deals. Somebody looked it up and was like this. He hasn't paid child support in 15 years. Well, he's homeless. How is he paying child support?
Yeah, he needs a break.
He needs a break. He's got a long break apparently.
No, I mean, he needs a break to get back on his feet to pay his child support.
So
Maybe he chooses not to. That's why he's homeless.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I feel like I have to learn so many new things as a middle-aged adult. I'm not up with the terms and the words and all this other nonsense. Not nonsense. I'm sorry. I'll probably offend somebody.
Listen, one day we're gonna get into the whole child support topic and how I think in some cases is unfair.
No, we can talk about that.
No, we're not gonna talk about
Absolutely.
that. I'd rather talk about the KKK. Not the
KKK?
racist KKK. Kanye, Kim, and Chris. What is going on over there?
I don't know. Has he come out with any more tweets? I haven't been on Twitter.
No, I think the doctors 5150'd him and took his phone.
5150. I first saw that term applied to Britney Spears.
We were talking about that. Okay, when we get into conspiracies next,
Yeah.
we'll start discussing it.
So I was like 5150. I had to look that up. So is he in therapy and treatment now?
No,
We don't know.
he's still on the ranch somewhere. Dame Dash, one of the people I said I wanted to meet, went to go visit him recently. I guess some people are just going just to check up on him, just to make sure he's good.
Is he like on a ranch, like where he's going to start like pulling like a Waco thing and bringing people in like?
No, this
get
is
arrested?
this is his like get away from people ranch. So he
does he take medication regularly?
I don't know.
as-
I don't know. Is there medication for being bipolar?
Yes. Yes.
Then maybe I don't know.
I mean, I knew someone who had schizophrenia, and when he didn't take his medication, woo, craziness happened.
It's like this.
Yeah, there's medication. So, but maybe he doesn't take it because maybe his bipolar is actually where all his creativity comes from. Because when you're up, things are good, right? When you're down, things are good. So maybe his high ups and his high lows help him to be creative with his music and his writing.
Speaking of that, it is Friday, and he's supposed to come out with his album today. So as you're saying that, I'm gonna look it up and see if his new album came out. So as you're discussing it,
this could all be a publicity stunt, on his part.
well, that's what people are saying. And as of right now on Apple Music, there's nothing here. It's supposed to be an album called Donda, and I'm thinking maybe he had this moment because maybe he stopped taking medicine so that he can be in his creative bag. Because when he goes to Wyoming, that's where all the artists go so that they can record on his ranch.
I have to admit, I watch the Kardashians, not religiously, but I catch some of their shows when I'm completely bored. And he's never in really many of the episodes. And they do spend a lot of time with their mom.
Well, that's why she's was it Chris Jong-un?
Yes. And you know who spends a lot of time with her? The other girl, Courtney's ex-husband.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, me either. But he's like always up like in her house, hanging out with her and hanging out with Chloe.
Well, that's how he gets on TV.
Not Courtney. Chloe's ex-husband. Courtney's the other one who has.
Wait, Chloe's ex-husband, the big tall one?
No, Chloe is the
big,
oldest.
Yeah, no, Chloe's the big tall one. Courtney's the oldest one.
Oh, okay, I'm confused.
Courtney's the oldest one. She looks the most like Kim. And then there's Kim, and then there's Chloe when they said is allegedly O.J. Simpson's daughter.
Chloe, yes.
And that's why she's bigger than all the other ones.
Yeah. Well, she could look like O.J. Simpson.
I don't know. It's all alleged. That's the rumors that I've heard. So I'm gonna read some of his tweets. I want to bring them up.
Not from Twitter, because they're all gone, apparently.
Okay, so here we go. This is from Kanye West Twitter. They tried to fly in 2 doctors to 5150 me. I've been trying to get divorced since Kim met with Meek at the Waldorf for quote-unquote prison reform. I got 200 more to go. This my lady tweeted tonight. Chris Jong-un. Lil Baby, my favorite rapper, but he won't do a song with me. I don't like Lil Baby's music that much, by the way. We can handle this like gentlemen. MJ told you about Tommy before they killed him. Kim saved my daughter's life in the name of Jesus. It's God's and it's cut off only.
Who's MJ and who's Tommy?
Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Okay.
Who's the doctor that gave?
I don't know. I don't think that was his name.
I'm gonna assume that the MJ is Michael Jackson and the Tommy is somebody else.
But they also call the grandmother MJ. I don't know if you meant that.
Really? I was just assuming it's Michael Jackson.
I think her name, I think they referred to, but I don't know what the grandmother would have anything to do with.
And
but
then
Tommy, like Tommy, the recording artist mogul.
Oh, like Tommy Records?
Tommy Records? I don't know.
If I get locked up like Mandela, y'all know why. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up.
Oh, and then he talks about his daughter. The abortion. They were going to abort her.
Really?
Yeah, North. That was the first tweet that came out.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Not a tweet. I'm sorry. He when he was in South Carolina during his conventional speech or whatever.
I want to see that entire video. I keep seeing the clip of the Harriet Tubman clip, but I have not seen the entire thing.
He talked about how he and Kim were debating abortion.
Why?
Aborting North, because probably Kim didn't want her body wrecked, which is why she had surrogates for the other 4 kids or 3 other kids she has.
Listen, you know how they say no one's ever ready to have a kid?
Yeah.
Those are 2 people that are probably ready to have a kid in any sense of the word that you can think of.
But do they really, I mean, they have such a lifestyle where they have people taking care of their kids. I just in my head, I play it out. Like, they probably come home. They don't have to give their kids meals. They get the kids to kiss their kids goodnight, maybe play with them for a little bit, like, see you later.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, when you're busy like that, yeah, it's one of those things where there's a draw. There's a piece that you lose there. It's like when you have kids, but you're like a multi-million recording artist, you miss out on some of their life. And I look at it as the way 50 Cent doesn't really have a relationship with his son that I was reading from the book. And then you look at DMX and his first son. He doesn't really have a relationship with his first son.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the list can go on as far as the children who felt slighted by their parents' career, but got everything because of their parents' career.
Yeah.
So
but isn't that what parents try to do? They try to overcompensate for their shortcomings.
Yes, they want to make sure that the next generation is better than their generation, but at the same time, I think that when you do that, the kids lose something, and then you have this whole generation of entitlement that we can see now, where they want everybody needs free health care. Who's going to pay for this free health care? Who's going to pay for this free health care? I want the minimum wage to be $18. Whoa. You know how much a double cheeseburger is going to be if the minimum wage is $18?
No, they're gonna have computers taking your orders.
But that's the thing. See, and this is the problem with like an entitlement age. If you go inside any of these restaurants, they have those big computers there they don't need you to take orders anymore. So while you complained about minimum wage, you've just really just pushed yourself out of a job.
Yes, and that's what's going to happen.
It's already happening. Listen, the Tesla is trying to get rid of the trucking industry. They're trying to put computers in all the trucks, and the truck drivers are like, what are we gonna do? So they killed the bill for automated cars because what are we going to do? Even though if trucking was automated and they had their own special lanes, shipping would be 1,000,000 times better and safer. You wouldn't have to worry about truck drivers, falling asleep driving. You wouldn't have to worry about packages getting late. You would get rid of the human error because it's all done autonomously with computers. But you know what? We're not even going to get into this.
Yeah. Another episode.
So
the George Jetson era.
Yeah. I'm not going to keep reading Kanye West tweets. We'll get to that. So the one tweet that stuck out to me was when he said that he's been trying to get divorced. You think he's really... Okay, here's my question. Is Kanye worth more with Kim or without Kim?
I think without.
You think he's worth more without her?
I don't, well, listen, I don't know, because my thing is, maybe their marriage is genuine because they're both successful. You know what I mean? So maybe there is a genuine love for each other. So I don't know. When you say worth more, you mean like monetarily or just...
Monetarily. Meaning because I don't think that Kanye got pushed into another stratosphere because of Kim Kardashian. I think Kim got pushed into another stratosphere because of Kanye West.
I think in some ways, yes, she did. She went the whole political route and everything, and trying to present herself as the next maybe first lady. But I don't know. I think that their love for each other is genuine because they're both successful people, so they're not trying to mooch off of each other. So if he's been trying to get divorced, I cannot see why Kanye West just can't get divorced tomorrow.
I look at it as normally when you have like two superstar people, because Kim was at the top of her game. I don't know what she does, but she's at the top of it. And Kanye's at the top of his game. Normally, when you have two people at the top of their game, one has to die to the other. So we have to acknowledge, all right, listen, you're the breadwinner, and I'm going to support you. And then, at the very least, take turns, but we both can't be at the top of our games together.
And there was a prenup, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think there would have to be a prenup. I think they were both equally around the same thing. So if they break up, what is she going to get? And what is he going to get?
Kris Jenner, or whatever she wants to call herself these days, she made a prenup, I'm pretty sure. She had to protect her interests, and her interests are her kids. She exploits her children.
And that's what he's saying. He's saying that she's not going to sell my kid's sex tape like she did her kids.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm sure there's a prenup to protect both their assets.
That's possible.
Of course.
But I think that Kanye has more of a upward trajectory than Kim does. I think this was the next thing to keep people talking about Kim, because we don't hear about Kourtney. And if you look at the other one, what's the other one that's a Jenner? Kylie Jenner?
And then there's another one.
She had to just keep dating rappers until she found the best one, because Tiger wasn't that popular. So she found Travis Scott, who, by the way, writes for Kanye West.
Now, is that the one who was the father of her baby?
Yes. And I don't even think they're together, but I think they cling on to people who are at the top of their game in order to stay there. Because what do they really do? They don't do anything.
Nothing. They just get to go and... Well, the other daughter, I think, is a model. We don't hear much about her. I don't know her name. Yeah,
we don't hear much about her. And she also doesn't date a rapper. Is that a coincidence? Or a basketball player?
I don't think... Yeah, I don't know. She probably lives with the other Jenner. What's the other Jenner's name? Caitlyn Jenner. And those are Jenner kids.
Yes.
And then he also has, I think, 2 sons. as well. So there's actually 4 Kardashians and then 2 Jenners and then
Wait, there's 4 Kardashians? Yes, it's the 3 girls and then Rob Kardashian. What did he do? He found the rapper's girlfriend and old baby mother and had a baby with her. It's this whole family. It's weird. And if you explained this to someone who had never heard of them, and you explained this entire dynamic to someone that had never heard of them, they would say this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
And the only one that dated anybody white was married him. What was the oldest girl?
Courtney.
Yeah. And he came into that lifestyle before, I guess they really were big and moguls or whatever.
I bet she regrets that. Oh man, I could have got me some young Jay-Z.
No, I don't think she really cares too much for that stuff.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I watched the episode where they were complaining about who was going to have Christmas. And how, like, they all have their own kids now, and it shouldn't be a big deal. And why does Courtney get to have it at her house, and or Kim or whatever, and all this stuff?
Why can't they just have Christmas on different days?
Oh, gosh, no.
Everyone spends Christmas in their own house, like normal people, and then we take turns going to different people's houses. So you can have something with your immediate family, and then something that's more geared towards everyone, and you just take turns.
Their immediate family it's always themselves anyway. Because they were complaining that, my kids, why did they want to know why Santa only can go to, Kim's house on Christmas? So it was decided that they would have Christmas in their own homes, and then later on in the day they would go to whomever's house was hosting.
Well, they know the answer to that question because Kris Jenner is at the top of the pyramid, and then it's Kim Kardashian, and then everyone else falls in line. Sorry, Rob, and your cool little socks at Barney's. Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, they don't. Nobody cares about him.
That's why he gained like 250 pounds. The family's crazy.
Yeah, but Kim is she's the matriarch of that family, and she's the one that's the driving force to keep her financial status.
So the only thing that makes me nervous about all of this is if I don't know what's going on with Kanye, I have 4 pairs of Yeezys. I don't know what to do with them now.
What do you mean? Why? What would happen?
Because if he's like losing his rocker and he's talking nonsense about Harriet Tubman and black people start to cancel him, I got 4 pairs of Yeezys.
But I vaguely remember something like this happening, though, I guess when his mom passed away, like he went into a downward spiral.
Yes, I think that's when it started.
Even when he jumped on stage when Taylor Swift was,
Well, he was drunk.
He was drunk? Okay.
Yeah, he was. If you look at the pictures, he had his head all shaved up with designs, and he's walking around with a bottle of Hennessy, and like he was pissy.
Oh, wow. So he needs to get back on his meds.
I don't know. It leads me to the question. Well, I was gonna put something on here about people who sell their souls, and I think that sometimes for people to really become famous, they really have to like make deals that they probably shouldn't make. And one of the theories, not saying me in particular that I believe this, but one of the theories is in order for him to get to where he is, he had to sacrifice his mom.
Yes, that's what I've heard. And now it's like weighing on his conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt all of these actors, they've had to do something, or performers or whatever. Anybody in Hollywood, I'm pretty sure, had to give up something to get where they are.
Well, I was following a YouTube page, and the YouTube page is down now, but there was like a bunch of conspiracies, and since we're getting on conspiracies, we can kind of move into that. But I want to say one more thing before we move into conspiracies, since we're moving there. Remember the last episode we spoke about Trump, Biden? I think I'm voting for Kanye. He's really going to shake the game up. He's really going to shake things up.
Kanye for president, and guess who he'll choose as his vice president? Trump. And America will go crazy.
And he goes, oh yes, I got my second term. Kanye, he's the greatest. I'm going to do some amazing things for black people. It's amazing. It's stupendous.
Can you imagine? That would be insane.
He's gonna make America great again Yeezys, and people are gonna line up to buy them.
No, now it's Keep America Great.
Keep America great. That's the new slogan.
Yeah. KAG.
KAG. CAG.
Keep America Great. Yes.
So it went from MAGA to CAG.
Yeah, CAG.
Well, I don't know, man. We're in a recession right now that most people don't know about.
Well, because of this pandemic.
It's beyond the pandemic. I think we were heading in no matter what, and the pandemic was. I listened to a podcast where they spoke about this. The coronavirus was the pen that popped our bubble.
Yeah.
Because we were in a bubble.
I don't know. It's crazy times right now.
All right. So, moving on to conspiracies. And this is one that we've been like talking about for a while, but I'm a bit afraid to even talk about it. What is going on with all the pedophilia in America?
Well, I think with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, that really brought it to light. And you wonder, like, I never knew of such a. I mean, I never knew of such a thing, trafficking, and until I started looking more into it. But then, like, do you believe everything you read on the web? I don't know.
Well, Abraham Lincoln, one of Abraham Lincoln's most famous quotes is, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet."
Exactly.
But what's even more surprising, because I do think that, you know, there are people out there who are attracted to young kids because they're young. What's more surprising to me are the people who have been linked to it and companies that have been linked to it. That's what's scary to me. And what is it called? The DSW? What's the
DSW.
what's the not DSW? What's the
That's a shoe store.
yeah. What's the book where they put all the mental illnesses in there?
Oh, we had it at work, right? Isn't it? Don't we have a guide like that at work?
I want to look it up. The mental illness guide. Yeah, but according to what I've heard, they're gonna put that in there as a mental illness.
I know, a sexual orientation.
Yes.
They want to make it a sexual orientation. Which, how? It's out. I found a term the other day. I can't remember it now, but it was like, where did they feel like they are...
The DSM-5. DSM-5.
Yeah, the DSM-5. That they have this... talking about like genders and stuff, and where they feel like I can say that I what's that word I'm trying to use?
Identify?
I identify with I'm a 46-year-old man, but I identify myself as a 12-year-old boy who likes boys, and I forget what they're calling it.
Dave Chappelle has one of the best jokes in the world. He goes, I can't walk into the bank with an ascot on and say, I identify as a white man, I want a loan. This is why he's one of the best, man.
It's crazy. Like, I just don't understand.
So some of the names that have been associated with it that are like, wow, that's crazy. Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres. Oprah.
Well, I think what I've read, though, it's that whole like
John Legend.
Adrenochrome. I can't.
What? When they eat people? When they eat people?
The blood, it gives them a high. And so what they have to do is, in order to get this blood from the children have to be entered into an extreme state of fear. And that's when they remove the blood from these children. Adrenochrome, it's a chemical compound. And so supposedly, you know, it's like, it gives these people who take it like this euphoric effect. It causes like a euphoric effect, like almost like a drug, like as if you were smoking weed, but something even more euphoric, giving you a high where you're like high all day long. So they need this. They need a constant supply of this adrenochrome.
This would be like a really good HBO series. Not the molestation of kids, but like just that concept of like capturing kids and like keeping them afraid. It's like Monsters Inc., but like 2000.0. Wow, look at the connection between Monsters Inc. and this. Look at my brain goes.
That was one of the things that they talked about. How to scare kids.
Yeah.
Adrenochrome. I can't say it right. I don't know why, but and now that they don't have this supply, you see that their faces are more like sullen and sunken in, and they just have no energy.
This is like True Blood all over again.
I don't know. I couldn't even, in my head, I couldn't even sit here and imagine, because I have kids, like, I don't know. Like, I see how my daughter gets when I raise my voice an octave and she starts crying. And I'm like, I'm not even mad.
but think about it, and I'm not a conspiracy person at all. I am an ostrich. When I hear something and it makes too much sense, I put my head in the sand until everything goes away. But it starts to make sense when you go into Walmart and you see all these young kids missing. And they're never found. Like, where are all these young kids with social media and cameras everywhere? Listen, if someone steals your car, they can find your car within a day. You're telling me these cameras can't identify faces of kids? The kids that are trying to get away, they want to be found? It's like, come on, man.
I mean, but this goes back as far as I maybe not for you. I don't know if you remember this, but when they used to put kids' faces on the milk cartons.
I remember.
Like Aton paints. How did this kid just disappear off the face of the earth? Gone. Like the early 80s. Gone.
You brought something up before, and you sent it in a group chat, but it was in the wrong group chat, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so crazy. Wayfair.
Wayfair, yeah. Now they're saying they're not part of it.
You sent a picture in the group chat of a crib, a regular looking crib that was $20,000.
Yeah. And then I put it in my cart, and someone said, they're going to track you.
Because
I wanted to see if it would go in my cart. And it did. And they had two other cribs, two different colors that were like $600. So I looked that crib up, and the color was called granite. And when I looked it up, I looked up granite and child trafficking, and it came up with 3 countries where granite is what is that called? Mined by children. 3 countries. So they have children mining the granite.
This is scary, man.
I believe in child trafficking. I believe in human trafficking.
Well, yeah, I think it's out there. It's clearly out there.
It happens a lot to they put the children to work. I'm sure they do other things to them, but this whole pedophilia thing, and scaring kids, and I don't know. And then the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and those women that came forward where, he just wants to lie there on his little spa bed and, get a massage by a 14-year-old. And I don't know. It's crazy.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Mask fatigue.
Let's go to that.
I wear a mask for 10 minutes and my chest starts to close up.
Well, they're saying, though, now some people are disputing that and saying it's not true, that we don't lose oxygen. So who do you believe? We got to get one of those things for our fingers and try ourselves.
I put a mask on for 10 minutes and my chest begins to close up. I've been asking people as I've been going out, like, you have to wear that all day? And I'm like, how do you feel? And he's like, oh, it sucks. And one guy was like this, look at all the pimples on my face. I have sensitive skin and I'm breaking out. I have all these pimples now.
Those disposable masks, I don't wear those. I wear other ones that I just washed. Are they any better because they're kind of like a paper fabric?
I don't know. There was a list that went out as far as which masks are great and which masks aren't great. And I'm wearing the cloth mask, and they said like that's the worst. But at least it's better than people who wear bandanas.
Yeah, because the cloth ones are just, I don't know.
But I did the max test. I did the max. I put the max up. I blew the max. The max didn't go out.
So I don't know. Mask fatigue. I don't go out. Stay out that long enough to wear 'em.
Well, I do
But
the DoorDash, so when I go into restaurants, I have to wait for
oh,
food. I have to put my mask on. When I'm delivering food, like if somebody's like handed to me, out of respect, I'll put my mask on. I mean, I pretty much stay away from people, and I think that's the biggest thing. As long as you're like kind of away from people, I think you're doing the best job there is. I think a mask might be like an extra layer of protection, but then again, it's at what cost is this mask going to help you? What was it? Was it I was speaking to you, and didn't you say the person had a mask and then they backtracked and they got the COVID and then they found out it went in their eyes?
oh no, I don't know if that was me, but that's interesting.
But that was another thing. I was speaking to someone, and apparently the COVID went into their eyes, and they got COVID through their eyes
I
because,
heard you can get it that way too. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, what the heck, man? You gotta. I'm gonna have to start wearing glasses. But if you wear glasses with a mask, you'd fog up like it's nobody's
Well,
business.
I read on the CDC that the virus can last up to 5 to 8 days or something like that on metal, such as jewelry.
Got a little car, little jewelries.
So what do? You'll walk around with nothing? I don't know. Come up with a vaccine,
I
please.
don't even think they know. They don't know. And even if they come up with a vaccine, it's like for what? When you have some of these vaccines and stuff, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna end up on a commercial that's airing during Maury that says, "Hey, if you ever took this vaccine, call us. You may be entitled to some health benefits and some monetary value." I don't want to be that person. I'd rather just stay away from everyone. Be careful.
But for how long? Are we gonna turn into Gilead here?
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but I think by January it's I don't know. Nobody
What?
knows.
Because they already said the virus mutated to another more extreme virus. It's like the DSQ whatever now. I don't know.
Really.
Yeah, I read it online. Again, online, I
Just
can't
watch.
believe it. Abraham Lincoln says, don't believe it.
Yeah, polio is gonna be
Believe
coming back real soon.
polio.
People gonna stop walking. I was gonna get into our topic about school in September, but I'm gonna save that for another episode since we're kind of running a little over. But let's finish it up with our this or that. I gotta figure out like a cool this or that, like a, ooh yeah.
You need your noise machine.
Yeah, I didn't load it up. All right, Erica, you're going somewhere. You want a burrito? They're right next to each other. You got Chipotle. You got Qdoba. Where
I
do
go
you?
Qdoba. Qdoba.
I'm gonna go with Qdoba also. I think
I like
Chipotle is
Qdoba.
way overrated. It's just trendy, and Qdoba has better queso.
Yes, I just think that they also have more to offer too. Like I think Chipotle is burritos and salad and what I don't even know. Do they have tacos? I've been in Chipotle.
Well, I know Qdoba has tacos.
I know. I love Qdoba.
I went to Chipotle, and this is when when I'm doing my keto and I'm not having too many carbs, and I'll say no, I want you to make the base lettuce, and they give me that little tiny handful of lettuce, and it's like, oh come on, man.
Chipotle does have though their sauce, their dressing for the salad is the best, whatever that is. But I do like Qdoba, and I used to have a Qdoba near me, but they closed up. So the closest to me would be either in the mall or I'd have to go to Bayonne.
Yeah, I'd just rather go with Chipotle. I think their steak tastes better. The only time I was really sorry, I would go with Qdoba. I think the only time where I really chose Chipotle is when I touched around with being vegan, and they had like this sofritas, and
Hmm.
that was really good. The only bad side about it was just so wet that it would just rip your burrito in half.
Yeah, I only went to Chipotle when they first opened, and it was like a big deal. And then I was like, oh, Qdoba's better. But I have to go to Moe's. That's my
Gotta go to Moe's. Moe's is
Moe's.
terrible.
I
Oh, you
hate
like
it.
Moe's?
I don't like it at
Oh,
all.
Moe's is terrible.
It's not good, but my kids like it.
Yeah, because if they get the kids meal, they get a cookie.
No, they don't get the kids meal. My kids get the full burritos. Wait, my kid will get the burrito with tofu, rice, and beans, and that's it. Oh, and cheese. I'm like, I can make that for you and
My
roll it up.
my kid only wants the cheese quesadilla, and then he's
Yeah,
starving 3 hours later. Why am I hungry? Because you should have got chicken, and you didn't get chicken.
I know. I tell my little one, you have to get some protein. So now she puts like the ground beef in it. But I can make a burrito, and they say, no, but you can't close it up. You can't make it so where nothing falls out of it. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't master the burrito making class.
There's a place by us, and I'm gonna end it off this. There's a place by us called Johnny Tequila's.
Oh,
That is the best burrito I've ever had in my life. Oh my
you got to go.
goodness.
You have to go to those more authentic spots
Yes.
if you want a really good Mexican meal.
Yeah, that's like commercial Mexican.
Yes, of course. It's a Mexican American.
I want what the Mexicans would actually eat.
Not they don't eat that.
Yeah. And
That's
speaking of
fake.
that, I'm gonna end it with this. I used to always like joke, like not joke, but you know how like there's the stereotype that black people like chicken and they
Yeah,
like fried chicken.
yeah,
I used to see tons of Filipinos getting that fried chicken, man. They used to be
yeah,
going ham. If you ever go to the Jollibees in Jersey City, oh boy, they're dressed up in their Sunday best, taking pictures with that bee.
yeah. Have you ever gone to a Filipino supermarket or a restaurant?
No,
They have good food, really good food. It's different than your Chinese food, but it's good.
I want to try some Korean barbecue.
Oh, I did that.
That's the one like when you like put it on top of the fire and then you cook it right there.
Yeah, because I want to go out to eat and cook my own food. But okay. Anyway,
Listen, it looks good.
it is good. It is good, very good. But you have to sit there and wait for it to cook. So if you go hungry, don't go hungry.
Got it. All right, E. Well, thanks for coming on. Let's go ahead and end this episode at 40, less than 47 minutes. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll let you end it, Erica.
All right. We'll see you next time on our next episode.
You're not going to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.